Hello and welcome to Three Faces in the Dark. I am Biased Opinion, and with me are Joseph and Big L. Yeah. It's been so long since we last did our podcast. What have you been doing, Big L?
So I haven't been playing with the regular league. That means I haven't played the regular league after I did my 40-40. But recently there is the Krangled POE event, and I went to play that for the event, right? Then maybe we can talk about the build later. But I played the event just for the mystery box. And currently, I will be waiting till the next event, which is the Blast from the Past. Yeah, I'll be playing that. Um, but for that, I'll be playing all the way, maybe all 7 days of the event because it's a event that has Recombinators plus the Calandra League. Yep. How about you, Joseph? What have you been doing?
So just before the Krangle League started, I managed to get my challenges to 38. So, I mean, it's quite exciting, I guess. Sure. The challenges, yeah, like with my not fire, coal rip build, uh, managed to complete challenges, and then I would say the only difficult part was the flawless bridgestone. Oh my god. I cannot believe I got not damage to do flawless bridgestone.
I mean, you have to actually ask me for help, lah, right? Which I was quite stunned also because it's very funny that he so Joseph used a build that I recommended, which is Corey. Corey has always been the quite a all-rounder build, but very expensive build because you both need a mage blood to actually play it smoothly. Then plus you need the awaken spell echo, awaken cascade. You need a lot of gear pieces to actually make that build work. So when he actually told me that his build can't do the flawless bridgestone, I was quite stunned. I have to log in to my Ethereal Nice Inquisitor to help him. The funny thing is that character is my considered my league starter, and my league starter has definitely lower gear than him, but we managed to clear the flawless bridgestone together. So there is that. I think after that I never see you play the regular league already, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, once I complete the challenges, then we have been on a break until this current Krangle event. Yep.
Yeah. I haven't hit 50, from what I understand.
So maybe I think we can start with what we did with the Krangle event. So can I ask the floor if everybody has played the Krangle event?
I haven't hit.
Yep, I hit 50.
Okay, so I think maybe we can go one round to maybe talk about the experiences. Um, this Krangle event, as far as I know, is the second one. It's the second Krangle event that GG released. I didn't play the first one. So this is my first time experiencing the Krangle event. And just for context, I played Poisonous Concoction, Dead Eye. So I played this character, I think, on the day of the event itself. Not directly when the event started. I think I started at about 12 hours after the event. So I was playing at my own pace. I didn't check out any skill tree reviews because from what I understand that the Krangle League, you actually have to put a skill point first, and then the next adjacent nodes will only be visible after you place the skill point. So it's more of a take as you go kind of league. So my idea for the league was to actually just get the mystery box, which requires for characters to actually hit level 50, right? So what better skills to bring you to 50 than poisonous concussion? So that is my favorite go-to skill, because you don't really need a lot of gear to do it. Plus, the only gear portion of poisonous concoction has always been the flask. You don't really need gear, right? So that was why I go with Dead Eye. So just now, we had a small discussion why I didn't go Pathfinder or even Ranger. It's the nature of how the ascendancy works, right? Because Dead Eye has a connected tree with the endless munition. So I was thinking, if I actually want to play more, Dead Eye has a better way, because you only need to review like maybe three skill points on the ascendancy to see a lot of notes. So that was how I went about choosing the ascendancy. But later on, when people review more on the ascendancy trees, it was revealed that the Dead Eye actually has quite a lot of broken notes, right? I was quite lucky to find out that Dead Eye has the occultist notes void beacon. So on the second note, so I actually got that, and it made my poisonous concoction from level 33 onwards very smooth. Yeah. So from that, I think I took about 3 to 4 hours to get my character to 50, and then I quitted the game, because once I opened my box, I got a sandfish pet, and I thought it was okay. Then I just quit the game. So currently, I'm waiting for the next event. Yeah.
Okay, so I started out as a witch, and by the end of the event, I'm still a witch. I didn't do any ascendancy, and then I picked a zombie SRS for the start, and then I thought it was okay because we just buy 2 of the lower tier convoking wands, right? And then at level 12, I changed SRS to Absolution. Yep. Then but it was quite a struggle to get to 50 because there wasn't much witch minion nodes when you come out from the witch side. And then there's also not much spell damage or cast speed as well. So even when I link my absolution with at first it was faster casting, and then transition into spell echo, it was still quite slow, even though I was like dual wielding wands, right? So but yeah, it was quite a struggle to get there. And then I played all the way until I reached Act 6. And then so at the start of Act 6, when you die, your character start to lose EXP. So in the end, I think I was level around 46 or something when I was there. Then I just went back
Left me.
to Act
I
5
I think
to
I was the
farm
only
up
one
the
playing
last few
on
levels.
Saturday.
And then
I opened up my friends
I've
list and
gotten
I was like,
the
wait, no one
Amethyst
else is
Flask
playing
effect.
with me. What is
Yep.
this bullshit?
So Progenesis when, I don't
So
know, but okay.
I went to check the spreadsheet. So I was too smart for my own good, because I looked at 2 ascendancies. Like I looked for ascendancy with 2 interesting nodes. So I picked the Berserker, because the Berserker has the aura nodes. The one with the Guardian, where if you hit something, or you hit a boss, or you kill something, it will spawn a relic that will give you the aura. Turns out, when you're low level, that doesn't do a lot of damage. So it's still a hefty increase, yes, but it's not as insane as I was hoping it for to be, which is very sad. And this one I probably won't get it since it's Thursday. I've been OTing the last few days. But the other note was Outlast and Outmatch. So I was actually hoping to make a bow build. But the saddest part is I can only get bow gems at X6. So I've been going around hitting stuff with like, oh, I started with Ground Slam. What guys, never level with Ground Slam. Ground Slam is horrible. Use Spectral Throw. Spectral Throw is actually not bad. So I think it was recently when it was buffed it reduced the amount of time before the next hit. I think it was either this patch or last patch. I can't remember. Yeah, we might check and talk about it later. But Spectral Throw as a leveling skill is pretty good now. So at level 12, I definitely switched to Sunder, but I still use Spectral Throw for single target. So one trick you can do is if you know the range of your Spectral Throw, which you can get by either overlay, which nobody has written yet, I think, or taping a circle around your screen, like the old school, no scope snipers. So if you know the range of your Spectral Throw, at the edge of the Spectral Throw, generally the weapon will hit around like 4 to 5 times. So what you can do is you can use Pawn Totem in order to control the position of the monster. And then it will make you feel very skillful, but you'll remember that you're actually playing Path of Exile, and then you question yourself, why am I putting so much effort to pretend I have skill? It's not like I'm Mateo or something. So, but it's still quite fun for the leveling experience. Way better than using Sunder for a single target. I can't level Marauder. It's painful. I want to give up already, but it's only 12 more levels. So I'll probably rush it tomorrow in time for the next shifting sense. Oh, one thing I didn't realize before the Krangled is that the damage passives is a huge difference when you're leveling.
Okay, just a tip for buyers' opinions. If you are struggling to find the apex of Spectral Throw, at least from what I understand, some people actually use things like the was it Blood and Sand or Flesh and Stone, they have an aura around them. So if you actually use slower proc with your Spectral Throw, I think it hovers around the maximum area of the aura itself. So you can use it as a guide, but definitely nobody would be using Spectral Throw with slower proc for mapping. So that one is more of a gem sword for bossing kind of thing. Yeah, so that can be a guide to how you play Spectral Throw. But I think in general, Spectral Throw has been picking up quite a lot of pace recently, because in the past, Spectral Throw has always been outshined by Spectral Helix. But from what I understand from a lot of the racers and people who actually play Helix just to have a good start for their league start, Helix after the nerf hasn't feel so good, because it was never a skill that felt good to play. So when they actually nerf the damage effectiveness of Helix, I think more people turn towards Spectral Throw. And now that we report the wiki page for Spectral Throw,
I think
it's
that's
mentioned that
roughly
the hit rate has
25%
been
more.
decreased, right? No, increase from 300 ms to 225. Yeah.
Use the banana MTX. That one has more damage to your skills.
Golden Seraph, right? Golden Seraph Spectral Throw effect. But I think okay, we don't know if Dota will go core. I actually still want to play Rakiata's dance with Spectral Throw, I think it's a very funny interaction because you throw big swords. Yeah.
Yeah, the next league start will
So that
be
might be
quite
cool.
hardcore,
I don't think I'll be going back to play the build because
I'll probably go
I'm
for Mage
kinda
Blood on my
trying to
first week.
reserve a lot of energy for the next event. Plus, I don't want to burn out before the next league start. Yep. I mean, Mage Blood is always a very good motivation for players, especially if they have never gotten Mage Blood before. So if you dedicate a bit of time and motivation to play POE, I think Mage Blood is a very good goal. Yeah. Then I think now we have covered the Krangled event. Maybe we can go next to the next event, which is Blast from the Past. So just a recap on what Blast from the Past is. It is actually based around Standard League that has the Sentinel and Kalandra League modifier. So what this means is that in your maps, there will be chests around the maps for you to find Sentinel, the small machines, right? That you can equip them. I think you can equip 3, right? And each target differently. From what I remember, there is the red, blue, and yellow. Yellow only targets rare and unique monsters, so there's strat around that. But for the blue and the red, it's more generic. So I think most of players will favor the blue and the red more. Okay, then plus the fact that the Sentinel League comes with the Kalandra League as well. Kalandra League means that for every every map that you run, I think you run a consistent 10 maps, right? They have a monolith up where you can actually place where you want your next tile set to go, so that you create a Kalandra map itself that you can go in and fight the monsters. And the scaling of the Kalandra map itself is more like it's scaled towards the Delirium kind of scaling. So the further you are away from the entrance, the monsters become both tankier and more HP. So that's something for players to take note lah. You don't be like
I'm
you go
actually
in
quite
and then you
surprised this is
expect
only a
everything to
1 week league,
clear
because
easily
both
just because the
Kalandra
level of the
and
zone is a bit lower.
Sentinel are famous for being very strong at the end game and like having a lot of broken items. Like for Kalandra, you had like negative lightning resistance gear, and then you used it together with Doriani's prototype in order to reduce the lightning resistance of like everyone. And then Absolution was strong that league, right? But uh, it had Arch Nemesis, so nobody likes Arch Nemesis.
Okay, I think a note is that Kalandra League has a very bad name to it for a few reasons, lah, right? I can briefly talk about it because I remember Kalandra League itself, the fact that Kalandra don't always fly in is a very weird thing. Not every map has not every encounter in the Kalandra League actually has the rewards that they promised. So it was a very difficult league for people to actually appreciate. But at the same time, Kalandra League itself produced the most broken jewelry. So when we talk about jewelries, it's the amulets, rings, and belts. So what Kalandra did to the jewelry market is that it produces a lot of broken mechanics through negative scaling. So one thing that I can tell you is last time, so apart from this league where people are playing Eye of Winter with the brands, that one they have to hit a certain projectile speed cap to hit for the return to make sense. But for Kalandra League, people actually go for negative projectile speed, so that whenever they fire the Eye of Winter mines, it comes out and shotgun everything. So that was one of the use case. And Kalandra, because it doubles the values on the amulet itself, it was the first league where people actually created +4 gem amulets, because people could get +2 amulets, like +1 to all skill gems, +1 to all fire gems, and if they are lucky with the Kalandra mechanic itself, it will become a +4. Yeah, so that was the league where people created a lot of crazy amulets. Sentinel is different. Sentinel is a league where people created the most crazy armors. So you have people using the temper mods, like the temper glove. They could combine both of the glove together to get some you know those 50% increased damage for shoot enemies, 50% increased crit chance against shot enemies. So they could combine both of them together, and those mods usually comes with T1 resistance, so it was crazy. And I think one thing that I will be trying, I don't know if people are trying this, but gloves could get you Enlighten 4, Empower 4, and Enhance 4. But boots can get you the in-stack mod, strength stacking mod, and deck stacking mod. So people can try to aim for that. I think it's a very strong thing to do. I'm not sure what the helm gives though, so we might have to go back and revisit what POE DDB had for Sentinel League itself. Then
Well, I've been trying to play more POE.
Yeah, so I think
after
that's my goal.
getting burnt.
Maybe we can
by
talk about
burnout.
what builds you all intend to play, or
I will
are
be
you all
using
playing
this league to
this
test out
particular event?
league
Right.
start
How about we start with
strategy.
Ayers?
So
Are you
like
going
a
to play
league
this
start
event?
build almost definitely will be either a Pathfinder or Deadeye. So yeah. And you've mentioned interesting thing about the recombinators, like using tier essences to create stuff, and probably would be a good way for me to test out how good lightning arrow is if I get lucky or that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I would probably just play to 50 for the mystery box. Then I mean, don't really have that much time to invest into this 1 week event, right? I took quite a while for the Krangled event to reach 50, but that's also mainly because the character has no damage or whatsoever, right? So for this blast from the past, I guess just 50, and still thinking what strat to go with.
The way I see is I will be playing a mapping character, because from what I remember in Sentinel is that there's almost zero benefit to bossing, because most of the gear you want to pick up, they are going to be rare items. And what you want to do for Sentinel League, you actually want a lot of mob density. You use your Sentinel to affect every monster in the vicinity and clear them, and you hope that they drop the recombinator for you to craft. So currently I'm still looking at mapping characters. So the one that pop up for me is definitely the corrupting fever champion. It's going to be a kinetic blast character. So probably going to play that to I like the whole Sentinel and Recombinator feeling. So I'll probably play more than 50. I'm not sure how long I want to play the league, but definitely the specific event. But I'm currently looking at maybe playing enough to actually get a stat stacking boots that eventually I may want to fracture it. So that's the goal currently. And for that, and for this particular event, I might try to hit level 90 just for the MTX draw, might as well, right? Then it may just not be one character, because from what I understand, Crafting Fever is only good for mapping. If I really want to do a more mixed strategy to kill bosses plus a bit of mapping, I'll probably incorporate another build that can actually boss. So currently I had a character in the current Dota League where I played Forbidden Rite, but I play as a Occultist Creep build. I might want to play the Pathfinder Poison build. So that one, it really depends on how accessible the Slaughter Shield is, because that is one of the key items for the build. So if I can get that one going, I will definitely be playing 2 characters for this particular event. Oh, that being said, I'm skipping the third event. So yep, I
I'll
think
probably use it
if we have
to test my
spoken
league
about what we want
starter
to play here, we
again.
can talk about the third event.
It
The
doesn't
third
seem
event
very
is called,
interesting.
is called
Yeah.
Shifting Stones. So I'll leave it to Bias and Joseph to talk about it, because I know I'm not playing this particular event.
Does your normal standard league without investing into the Atlas tree? So you get your tormented spirit
Well, I
with the
can
keystone or
pretend
blight
it's
with the
Blight League
keystone.
again.
So
I'm on
that
map
doesn't seem that
with Blight,
interesting.
then I'll do nothing but run
And
Blight.
you can't get a third box by playing it to 50, so I'm skipping it as well.
Yeah, that's true. Every hour is way easier than 15 minutes.
The area changes every 15 minutes though. If it was like every hour, you would you'll get more out of it.
I mean, this is a POE podcast lah, but when you talk about every 15 minutes, it reminds me of a Facebook game called Mama's Hunter, right? Every 15 minutes you have to change something. Oh my god, that is actually just micro managing. And to be honest, when I first saw the event, I thought it was I think it's cool for players that don't actually play POE, or maybe they want to come in to play POE and they don't really know what they like, what type of content they like. I think they can give this particular event a try so that they can actually experience what the league content with the keystone feels like, and then eventually when they move on to the next league itself, they can decide whether they want to actually play the specific league content. And as far as I see, it seems like the people will be definitely more interested in playing Delirium and Beyond more, because those two actually has a more longevity as compared to the others. Blight is a bit niche because you actually have to play like tower defense. The Legion Time Stone, from my experience, is not good, because if you actually have damage, it slows down your mapping. So I don't really encourage it. For the Tormented Spirit, I forget what's the keystone. What does the keystone does? But ever since they revamped Tormented Spirits, I've never liked the league mechanic. It has never been good, to be honest. Yeah. So, okay. So we pull up the Speaker of the Dead keystone. Actually, lets the ghost possess you, and then you can touch the monsters around you, lah. Right? Then the thing is that the ghost will not be able to possess monsters. So that means you have to play a very speedy build. And I feel like for a mechanic that changes around 15 minutes, you may not have a character that can do all these league contents at its best. So it's a very easy skip for me, but I think for players that want to experience, you guys can take a few days to play this event. I don't see this event as a must play, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, so I think we already conclude what we think about the upcoming events. Maybe we should hype ourselves up. Try not to be so dead about POE. Should we talk about what we'll be doing for the next league? As far as I know, currently GG hasn't released any info about the next league, but our own speculation, we seems to think that the next league will come around either the first weekend or the second weekend of December, because the shifting stones will finish on the 23rd of November, right? 25th. Yeah. So the event finishes on 25th. And give and take, I think GG will want to use 1 week to play test the league and 1 week to tease the players. So tentatively we are looking at the second week of December for the winter league. And to be honest, I think it's gonna be a big league where they might retire Conqueror content. I think because Conqueror content has been from 3.9, and I think it's time for us to have a new form of new items and crafting. Yeah, that is my
I
own speculation
think
and my own hopes.
next league
I'm not
won't have
sure
Dota,
what you guys think.
but
Maybe we can talk about some
it's just
speculations
another
that you
league.
guys have for next week.
There's definitely not gonna be an expansion.
I
Like
thought next week
the
just Dota
Conquerors
again.
wasn't December also, right? I remember it was it?
So Conquerors, the first time when we actually had Cyrus and the 4 Conquerors, it was the league that was right after the first ExileCon, right? It came together with Metamorph. So then I think eventually we had the subsequent year we had Maven. Yeah, then Maven introduced something that is on top of Conquerors because they allow you to use the Maven op to make it to a higher stat. But it didn't change anything much for gearing until the red and blue side, which is the Searing Exarch and the Eaters of World, which is 3.17. Yeah, so currently what I think is they're going to introduce another form of crafting, which is going to be a big expansion for this Winter League. It's always the Winter League that's the big one. And I have my hopes quite high for this one because I don't know if you guys have realized, but for the past 3 or 4 leagues, we hadn't had any new skill gems to play with. We had a few support gems, but support gems can't really do much, right? But skill gems, we haven't had any skill gems. We haven't had any big form of rebalance of skills. Not much. So most the meta, to be honest, is quite stale, and most of the skills that people are playing are from maybe 3 to 4 leagues ago.
Well,
Like people are still playing
I guess if
EA
you
ballistas,
believe in
though the
GGG,
build came to prominence
that's also
I think
pretty true.
4 leagues ago
Since
when
I think this league
the Searing
would be
Exarch
one
and
of
Eaters of World were still
the
new. So
leagues where
it
they
has
are
been so
very
long.
clear
I'm
that
hoping
this
for
is
some
only
form
for
of
Path of
revamp.
Exile 1. So for a very high dose of copium, right, you can think that, oh, this league is where Path of Exile 1 gets back its league breaking, like power scaling, all the stupid shit. My hopes are way lower. I think we'll get Dota, just not Dota.
Well, the league was pushed back from November
Yeah,
to
but what if it's
December.
just heist?
They were hoping for a bigger content, so I'm not sure what we are going to hope for.
Okay, I think you are giving Heist a big shit time here. lah. To be honest, I think Heist is not a bad league. Heist is just a lot of hard work, but there wasn't on the player side, it didn't seem much. Because if you realize Heist got a lot of the voice acting, a lot of new dialogues, right? I think clearly Heist was made for POE 2. But now that the decision was to break up POE 1 and 2, I hope for the next league, we will see new gems, new ways to craft. But then again, as what buyers say, right, he's quite high on the copium. I'm still quite realistic about my expectations. I don't think our ultimatum will be back. I don't think GG will bring back recombinators. So these are some of the things that I actually want, but I know they are not going to bring back. But as for Tota, I think like I said in the previous or maybe the previous few episodes that Tota is, I think, quite a polished kind of play style. It's just that maybe some of the scaling they got to change it, and then plus some tattoos shouldn't be in the game. I think it shouldn't be in the game, or it should be restricted, because obviously the fact that it exists in the game breaks some skills. Like, I don't think the additional projectile that tattoo actually makes sense, because the cost of the tattoo is actually just 6 more passive around. So if you are willing to sacrifice 6 passive, you can get another projectile. And although this may not be much for things like molten strike or maybe some bow skills, but for spells that are not balanced around having more projectiles, having 1 more or even 2 more with warrior's tail around is crazy. And obviously previously I've also talked about the max rest tattoos. Max rest tattoos without restriction is crazy. And I hope they don't balance the casual builds power with tattoos power, because I think before I quitted the league, the cold rest tattoos are around 3 div per pop. Fire rest is about 2 div, and the lightning rest is 10c, right? Nobody could found a good use for lightning rest tattoo. So I guess the price makes sense, but for the other two, it doesn't really make sense. And I hope that maybe GG can look at their skill tree and do some tweaking again. It doesn't make sense that the ranger side and the shadow side always have the best notes. I don't think that makes sense. The fact that spell suppress is also heavily concentrated around
Smells
the
like
area
copium
also
to
don't
me.
make sense. Yeah, spell suppression is so much more superior than spell block. I'm hoping that they bring back some block, and maybe, together with the block revamp, maybe they can revamp one of the ascendancy called Gladiator. Yeah,
I used to play
yeah, that one I
nothing
won't
but Gladiator
deny that
when
it's I'm on
when
copium
the
for
ascendancy
Gladiator,
was still
even though
good.
I don't play a lot of duelists, but I think Gladiator is in a very weird place ever since they got veteran combatant taken out from their ascendancy. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that they lost the block chance equals to spell block and vice versa. I don't think Gladiator has been the same. And Gladiator currently exists as a forbidden flesh and flame for champion and slayer. So it's a very sad state, which is exactly the same as maybe for, if you talk about classes like assassin for tricksters and saboteurs. Chieftain is still okay. Actually, Chieftain is a good ascendancy now, I feel. There are quite a few good notes there. Berserker might be the one. But Berserker has a very weird thing going on with the things, but like the rage tree is fine, the crit tree is fine. The the 40% more damage is just a very convenient way for the boss for farmers to get lucky, because that one is a very good forbidden flesh and flame to farm. But I remember that there's a defiance stat somewhere in the ascendancy that I don't get it. I just don't know how people actually use that particular ascendancy. So maybe they might want to look into how people can build around the defiance. Yeah.
It says that at 10 defiance, take reflected feast damage equal to maximum life. So it's basically just a one shot. Like once you get 10 defiance, you die instantly. Is it? We really have no idea how this works. Or do you like try to convert? No, you can't convert the reflected damage away as well. So, huh?
Yeah. So to me, I think one of the few ascendancies that they might want to look at is definitely Gladiator, and to be honest, I think Berserker is not really in a good state as well. For duelist class, I think just Gladiator. Rangers are in a very good spot except Raider. I think Raider is also very weird because the last time I think Raider only had some numerical changes, so not really a revamp. I want to see Assassin change. Then as for Witch, I think currently I think Elementalist makes a lot of sense. Occultist is mainly used for power charge stacking. So in that regard, I think most people think that it's okay, but I feel like the curse archetype has been diminished quite a lot. I'm not sure if they want to do much with the curse side of things. Plus, oh guys, remember that next league they're going to nerf Impending Doom, right? Impending Doom was too popular, so they actually reverted the behavior of how they wanted to change the curse, right? So for this league, if you still want to play Impending Doom, you can, but for next league, the same behavior won't work already. So I think they might have plans to change the occultist with the curse side of the tree. As for Templar, they just rework Guardian. I think Guardian is still up for the table because Guardian is a very good ascendancy for Ruthless. I don't think they'll take anything because I think currently it is still decent enough to play in Trade League as well. I do think they want to change Hierophant because Hierophant is very awkward for self-cast. It doesn't have a very good fourth node. That's just my thought because for Hierophant to play as a non-mind over matter build, it's very weird for self-cast because if you take a look, you would only want the first two node of the Arcane Search tree, the Power Charge and the Endurance Charge tree, and then you want the fourth node for Sanctuary of Thought. But the Mind over Matter node is in the middle, and I thought that one was a bit weird because what if I don't want to play Mind over Matter? I'm forced to take that. Yeah. So that's just my complaint. I think Inquisitor is still a very good ascendancy. They might want to use the Ruthless patch for
Actually,
the standard
I'm not
league
sure if
Inquisitor because
Guardian
I
of
think
Absolution will survive.
nobody plays
Because I think it's
the
really
Fanatic
strong
Church.
for
Might as well
leveling.
give
I was actually
Inquisitor
looking for
a
it
free
in the Krangled League, but it
Sandstorm
was
Visage
probably
for that node.
2 nodes down,
Yeah.
not first node. I think for first node, it might be a bit too strong. So they might nerf the scaling of it. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, if they might actually tie the power of the Sentinel to your character's level.
With the chieftain changes, right? The max rest is I think quite good.
Well, I think
So
there will be ascendancy changes at least. They can't be that
we'll be
lazy,
looking at
right?
that
So I
for league
think picking
start.
ascendancies for might be a bit
Huh,
early.
RF? Are we gonna play RF again? Although there's the very nice MTX though.
I think if you pick Chieftain, it's okay because it's a recently revamped ascendancy, so it's definitely safe from any changes. And even if they have changes, they are going to they are going to change some of the more underwhelming notes, like the one that supports both strike and slam. The one is so awkward. Yeah. Currently, Chieftain has a node that supports both the strike and the slam one, which I thought is a bit weird because you will only play one or the other. You wouldn't play both together. So technically, it's just a 7 link, and it's not really a strong 7 link if you think about it. Yeah. So I think like Chieftain, if you go RF, I think it's still safe because the first node that you're gonna take is definitely going to be the max stress one. And then eventually I think there was a node that reduces the nearby resistance of the monster. Right?
That one is only for fire dot though. It's not generic for damage. So yeah, I mean for RF it's good. So anyway, you're just gonna stand there and throw fire traps, right?
I'm not really a fan of fire trap, but yeah, you can play fire trap or you can play scorching ray plus steering bond. I think that one is actually pretty good as well. And the fact that you can actually use scorching ray together with infused channeling to further reduce the fire damage that you take. So why not? Right. Then I mean Rush's Fire is always going to be a good league starter nowadays. I'm actually not looking at Rush's Fire. I think next league I'm gonna start straight with Pathfinder. But this is assuming
Yeah,
GG
it's true.
don't
I
touch
think
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder is the
Because I
strongest
am
league starter
very
right now.
worried that Pathfinder,
I'm hoping
it
they
has been
don't
2
really
leagues
nerf
since Pathfinder
Deadeye,
revamped,
because I'm eyeing
and I got
Deadeye.
a feeling
Either
that GG
Deadeye
wants
or
to clamp down on
Pathfinder.
how
Then maybe I'll play
popular
a
Pathfinder
QOTS
is.
build. Probably lightning arrow with artillery, ballista. Yeah. But it also depends on what skills happen. So I think we actually talked about
What kind of AI are you trying to
what
play?
we look for in a character build. So for me, I think I actually had to think a lot about this. So I was like thinking like actually I feel that movement speed and recovery matters a lot for me. Yeah. So that's why I actually like my previous the totem build, because I could leech life, because the totem explosions were actually dealt damage value. So this might be why I didn't like the other totem builds that I played. Yeah.
I mean, usually totem builds comes with a lot of regen if you look at Hierophant itself. So I think in general, um okay, the problem with going any build with the Templar lacks movement speed, but it has a lot of recovery. Yeah,
But there's
whereas
also the thing about
for Ranger
leech.
side,
I
they
feel leech
usually have
is
a lot of
actually
movement speed, but not enough
underrated as
recovery.
a
And
recovery
you
mechanic
supplement
nowadays.
that with
Last time
Gala,
it
right?
used to
So
be
for
leech all the time.
Pathfinder,
But
if you
leech
use the Life
basically
Flask
means
or you
that you
use
have
Master
20% life
Surgeon with the
regain
Life Flask, you actually
every
have
second.
infinite sustain.
Life recovery every
Um,
second. So that I think that's one thing that people don't really think about when they talk about like recovery on builds.
I think Leech used to be very big when it was instant, but I think nowadays people just
Actually,
don't
if
want
you
to
hit very fast,
go and
you actually
count
don't need to
how
understand a
much
lot of
they
these things,
leech.
because
So the fact that
quick primer for
leech
anybody
actually has
who
a very high
needs
barrier of understanding. Like you
understanding
have
of
to have
this.
leech rate,
So
you have to have
every
max
hit
recovery per leech,
has
all kind of stats to actually
maximum
make
percentage
leech
of your
make
life
sense.
that you can recover. I can't remember the exact numbers now, but the total amount of life leech that you can have with all the instances is 20% base, without adding any funny numbers into it. Yeah. 20% is every second. Yeah, 20% is every second. So if you use a skill that hits very fast, you don't have to worry about it. Also, if you use a skill that hits very fast, there's also life gain on hit. Yeah, which is, I think, is very nice also. So that's why I used to play like Toxic Rain, self-cast. Self-cast Toxic Rain basically means that you cannot die. Yeah, and it also explains why I value Defiance of Destiny so much compared to you guys.
I mean, Defiance of Destiny is a very good mechanic lah. It's just that currently we don't even know if that thing is going core because it's a unit. So the way I see it is right now, right? Why people don't want to do Lich, right? It's because Lich, the only thing that people find reliable on Lich is mana Lich. For life Lich, right? People actually just always try to fit in Petrified Blood to simulate Slayer over Lich. But if you are playing a build that don't use Petrified Blood, you technically you take Leech to kind of supplement whatever recovery you have. But I think nowadays people use recoup and life gain on hit more as a more reliable way to get back your life, assuming you don't have regen, which is a very common thing nowadays because people actually use Calm Spirit. Calm Spirit kind of disable. It doesn't disable. It stops your regen, but it turns your regen into rich regeneration. Right. So from what I understand is
At
nowadays
early in the league,
people
there's also the
like to
belt
take 1 point of
that lets
leech,
you
which is
over
like a
leech
very
into
small minor
energy
node,
shield.
and just call it a day.
So
People don't
that
actually
also
over
gives
invest into
lets you
leech
retain
unless
your
you are
leech
doing
instances.
Petrified Blood or you are doing Slayer or Science Slayer. Yeah, but like I say, generally I think people like to use the 3 passive to soft leech lah. I mean, if you are talking about belt is a very highly contested slot nowadays because people think about Mage Blood. People think
Yeah, but
for
I think
builds
it's
that are
quite
going
nice
Pathfinder,
for
they
league
want to
start,
find a
and I think
belt
you agree
with
with
a
me
lot
also.
of the flash charge gain,
That
reduce flash charge
combined
use,
with life
fast
gain on hit
duration. So
and
those
life
stats will
recover on
become very
heal,
precious, and
on kill. I
people
mean,
might
yeah,
not want to
I think
switch
I
up
will
for
probably
a
look
unit
more
belt.
into that. Back then, I really used to love like Aegis Aurora and the life gain on block shield, the one with the Blessing of Chayula. Yeah, the surrender. Yeah, but I feel like most block builds nowadays aren't very strong because they don't deal enough damage in today's meta. Unless you're playing a minion build. But even minion build nowadays, they are like, oh, we want to have more damage. We're gonna use a two-hander, or we're gonna like do a build like once or some stuff.
I think that there's a lot to unpack from all of that because currently block is just a good defense layer, but it's not the best. Currently, the best defensive layer is enough armor for you to use Molten Shell plus a bit of spells for and plus 100% spell suppression, right? That is the best kind of layer to have nowadays. Or you just go full evasion and pray that the hit don't kill you, right? So maybe they have to change up on how you build defenses. I think currently energy shield builds are very bad. Pure ES builds are very bad because you used to play a lot of ES builds,
Actually, with
and if you
ES
do ES
evasion,
builds
right,
without any
Trickster might be
armor
decent,
or
especially
evasion,
with the ES
you
overleach.
are technically
I
as
see
stable as a
people
life build
use it,
without
but
those
it
two as well.
doesn't. It
And
isn't
ES don't have a higher
as
value than life
popular
nowadays.
as I would imagine it to
So
be, even
yeah.
at lead end builds. Yeah.
Actually, there's one very popular build, trickster evasion, and that one is spark. But like I say, I don't like spark as skill, but spark is a very popular build for various reasons. And the trickster package actually lets you do quite a lot of tanking, because the moment a hit comes in, generally tricksters got enough ES to block the hit as well as to recover from the overleach. So trickster evasion is good. Armor evasion, you really have to
I
look at
remember
the
the first
fact that
league.
the build
I can't
needs
remember which league, but I remember I was
Aegis,
playing
which
the
is a
first league
very
when
rare item
Aegis got
nowadays. I
popular
think back
again,
in the days you can get
and
Aegis
I was like, wait, why did
in
my
the one
why
exalt
did
or
my
two
items
exalt range,
suddenly
but
like
nowadays you
multiply
want to
in
get
value?
Aegis within the
I
first
thought I was the
25
only
game.
one playing Divine Aegis.
Yeah, so that was I think that was the league where they revamped defenses. That's why Aegis become very expensive. So yeah, I mean we have been talking about
Like what I mentioned before,
random rumbling
really
about
looking forward
classes. Maybe we
to
can go into what builds you want to play for League Start.
a ranger side
For next League
lightning
Start. Okay,
arrow,
we
because I
assume that
think
the
I'll be
current
running
ecosystem won't change. What
white map
skills will you
strategy,
play?
and then we'll see what happens. Yeah.
So what about you, Joseph? What will you want to play? We don't talk about patch notes yet. Although I think our decision might change after patch notes. But let's assume nothing that we know here are nerfs. What will you be playing?
Like I say, I would want to go with Chieftain for the max res. Like I think max res is from this league, my core build. I think max res 90 max res is very comfortable. You hardly die, right? We when you don't die, the game is quite enjoyable, right? You don't really want to run in and then some rare mob just one shot you, right? Like like this time during the Krangled League, right? I what's that? In Act 5, after you reach town, then you go into the next map, which is the pen layout. The pen layout, right? And then when I was reaching the end, there was this Soul Eater mob that killed me. And then I have to run all the way back. Then I still get one shot instantly. And then so I made a new instance. And then it followed me in the new instance. Because when I stepped into the new instance, he was there again. There was this Soul Eater mob right there again. And then I had to start another new instance.
So you think max res is the only thing that matters for next League Start, or what?
it makes the game very comfortable. So unless the league mechanic is like some
You mean
it comes with some
like
stupid
every single
counter
league mechanic last
timer,
year?
and then you have to map clear giga damage. If not, if you have the defenses, you can take your time to kill, which is okay.
Okay. So let's say you're gonna pick Chieftain. The max rest node is actually fourth node. So which other two nodes are you going for?
Probably the explode. And then wow, I really if you're gonna RF, then of course the damage over time node. Not sure you're gonna play totem, then the totem node. Definitely not gonna link start with melee, so no to the slam and melee splash route. Yeah. I mean, I guess league start you don't really want to deal with accuracy. So league starting with a spell would be good. But Chieftain and spell, I guess you're probably gonna puff up into Templar which area. Yep.
So some sort of fire dog lah.
Probably.
So like I say, I always like to play a trap or mine build from the start. And after the changes from Saboteur, I usually like to go Inquisitor for trap mines. But for next league, I think just to spice things up, I'm just going to go straight for either Poisonous Concoction, Ranger, probably Pathfinder into. So I got two choices: either Toxic Rain or Poisonous Concoction. Either one will do the job, because eventually once I hit maps, I think I'll change to Forbidden Right straight away. Just want to go to the build straight away. So that is one this is my more adventurous league start. But if I want to go conservative, I play things that I know I'll be going for Inquisitor Ice Trap. Yeah, that has always been the safe choice for me. Inquisitor Ice Trap or Inquisitor Seismic, and I'll just take the cold notes to convert my fist into cold, or maybe just get a Hymn Sorrow to call it a day. So that's the play. And I believe that next league they will nerf Sanctum. So Sanctum wouldn't be good anymore. For people who have been relying on Sanctum to get their divines, I wish you good luck. You wouldn't have such a good time next league anymore. For people who have been relying on Tota as well, I don't think Tota will be coming next league. As a Tota enjoyer, I'm also having some copium about Tota. Better to rely on what has been going well. So if you are a slave to essence farming, go and farm your essence. We need to buy from you. If you are enjoying temple, you can farm some alpha temples to sell it to people who will buy each of your corruption for one div. That's another way. I mean, if you are farming blights, I hope you can farm more gold oil so that you can sell each gold oil for 50C. Right, that's how people generally make money for the first week. And personally, I think I'll be siding towards the Alva temples, and I should be doing ritual for the league start. So as usual, I think there will be another camp who prefers expedition. For
Well,
expedition, you
I'd like
definitely
to
need
note
a
that
character that has
I'm a
more
sucker for the
damage
patch notes.
all around,
So the moment that patch
and
notes
you have
comes
to
out,
actually read.
like whatever
And
I
I don't like
say
to read,
is probably gonna be
so
incredibly useless.
that will be my strat. I don't know what
So,
strats you guys are going to go with for your next starters.
I'm hoping for a mapping mechanic the next league, and I'm probably going to be rushing white maps, probably Essence and Heist. From my previous research, Heist is actually not bad, especially if I can sell everything in bulk or if I can run it on my own with QOTF build.
I generally have no idea what strat to go. So I guess in the end it will still depend on the challenges. Then we will just back into whatever.
Okay, so like I say, the more adventurous league starter for me is going to be a Pathfinder. So I always have the option to go into the current league favorite, which is the I'm sure you guys know, right? Dendrobate
Won't
Poison
people
Pathfinder.
play
You can
the
play any of these
Covenant
spell with
for the
that.
added
And
chaos damage?
Sanguinate, Reap, or even Seismic Trap. Everything is up for choice. So that can be a thing. Covenant for the first week is going to be expensive because you are sniping the chest together with the people who are playing Poison SRS. So for alternative, people go Dendrobate, and technically as a spell poison build, you actually want Dendrobate more than the other one, because Dendrobate has chance to poison, which is 40% increased chance to poison. And if you take a look at the tree, right, the tree don't really have a lot of chance to poison for spell. It actually only have about 20%. There is one generic tree for poison, just for poison chance. So together with those and added poison, you probably need a 20% from your clusters to actually make your spells poison all the time. So that is just what I think. I think Dendrobate is a good chest for that particular purpose, but for higher skill cap, you definitely can go for Covenant. But for Covenant, you might have to take note of your life cost, because most of the spells that are used together with the poison Dendrobate builds are spells that actually cost life already. So if you add on another cost, it might be higher than what you're comfortable with. Yeah. So that's my current plan. I think but that is we are all saying this purely from the point of view that GG don't nerf the current patch. Like they don't nerf any Pathfinder, they don't nerf any strats that we are talking about right now. And yeah, I think if they nerf anything, I think we can open another episode, and that one would be on a more regular schedule when we have more news about next league, right?
Yeah, I guess like the next episode will probably be at least 2 weeks later, hoping that GGG will drop more info about the next league. Yeah, if not, there really isn't much to talk about. We have already covered the current events, and we are not playing the last event. So yeah, that's quite about it for today.
So I guess we are about to finish this particular episode for Three Faces of the Dark podcast. Um, Anything else to add, guys? If there's nothing, I think we can close the episode, and we will see you guys for the next. And for the next episode, it will probably revolve around the new league and what we'll be doing for the new league. Because for the events, most of us are not playing Shifting Stones, except maybe Bias. Bias, he's trying out for league start. For me and Joseph, we will be sitting out this last event. And that'll be all. Thank you for listening.
Bye.